It looks to me like AI basically is eating everything, and it might eat itself. And what I mean by that is not produce adequate profits.
桥水基金创始人瑞达利欧对当前火热的人工智能浪潮提出警示性看法。他指出 ，AI 技术正在以前所未有的速度吞噬各行各业，极大地提升生产力并重塑经济结构。技术的成功并不等同于商业的成功。他认为，目前大多数 AI 公司虽然拥有顶尖技术，却难以找到可持续的盈利模式，最终可能因无法产生足够利润而倒闭，导致 AI 热潮吞噬到自己身上。
I think when we look at the bubble question on AI, what a lot of people don't realize in bubbles is that through all technologies, they think that they are betting on the technology when they buy the stocks in the companies. That's not true. Okay? There's a giant difference between the behavior of the companies and the behavior of the technologies. And that the norm is in these is that a lot of companies won't survive in the start. Very small percentage, and they'll all fight and so on. But the technologies will go on and it'll be great. The technologies will. So I want to emphasize to people that dynamic. And I can go on and describe, what it's like. Of course, we've seen it to some extent with the 2000 bubble in the technologies and what went on. But even if I describe what it was like in the late 20s, it was unbelievable. But the technologies will go on, but the companies won't necessarily go on. And so when I'm looking at that, that has big implications. Right now, it looks to me like AI basically is eating everything, and it might eat itself. And what I mean by that is not produce adequate profits. We can't take just a domestic view of that. We have to look also at what's happening in China and make interesting distinctions there. There's a difference in philosophy that's carried through in the economy of how the economies of the United States and China work, in that we have basically primarily a profit-based system. They have a system in which they might believe that profits are a second consideration. They're not necessarily needed in order to achieve the best results. For example, in China, they would say usage of AI is fantastic. So it should be like electricity or something, and let's make it free for everyone. And let's make it open source for everyone. Okay, and they might get much higher usage, and they'll get their productivity gains through the usage, and we have a profit system to pay back. Okay, well, now we're in one world. How do you compete in that world? What do you do with that? In other words, just imagine that their technologies are almost as good as ours, because they're not far behind. And then, but that you could get them for free, open source. Okay, now you got to pay it back. Okay, so I just want to emphasize that these are also systematic risks.